This isn't a democracy anymore.
What's going on, friends? Especially tonight if you're a fan of the TV show The Walking Dead, because I'm going to be saying farewell to the main character, Rick Grimes. And we're talking about the TV show, not the comic book. Of course, in the comic book, there's a huge disparity between their character, Rick Grimes, and the one from the TV show. But I don't want to give away anything if you're ever planning on getting caught up either on the TV show or the comic. So I try to keep all of this spoiler-free. It's not a spoiler that Rick's leaving. AMC's been talking about it, been hyping it up all season. So we know in some capacity Rick's going to be leaving the show after this Sunday. Whether he dies or whether something happens to where it's left open for him to return later, we'll see. But we'll find all that out tomorrow night. There's been a lot of ads for the show, for the last episode that show Rick riding off on a horse. So does he die, or is it going to be open-ended to where if he wanted to return later on, he could? Again, all that will be answered Sunday night. Before I get started, I'm going to give a shout-out to Epic Zombie Killer. He recently did a video where he talked about Rick Grimes and the reasons why it's his favorite character. I can't say that Rick is my favorite character, but the show, and I'm going to be talking exclusively about the show, not the comic book character Rick Grimes. So I want to make that clear. But Rick Grimes in the show, we've basically seen everything through him and his experiences. And so it's going to be kind of odd to see where the show goes now. Is it going to be Daryl that takes over? Is Negan going to have a bigger part? And we know Maggie's on her way to see Negan at Alexandria. So what's going to happen there? Find out tomorrow night on my birthday, by the way. So basically, this is a farewell. My thoughts on Rick Grimes as a character on the TV show. I'm not going to take up too much time, but I do want to say I'm going to miss him. I've enjoyed his character throughout, 9 seasons now, and it's going to be tough for the show to carry on because so much revolved around Rick and evolved with Rick. And from the early, parts where he wakes up from the coma and discovers the world is basically just gone to hell, and he has to figure out why because he's alone, to discovering Morgan, eventually being reunited with his family, who he didn't know if he'd ever see again. Those early episodes were just so great. It was new. It was a breath of fresh air. It was like, holy cow, there's never been a show like this before. Most zombie movies, you don't really have an emotional attachment to any of the characters. But with a TV show, especially one that's been going on this long, you do. You form a bond with some of the characters. And unfortunately, with The Walking Dead, you may get attached to a character that's going to die. And I think The Walking Dead TV show has not been scared to kill off characters that were popular and well liked, except for Daryl. So, the death of Glenn, that shocked just about everyone, unless you were familiar with the comic book. Seeing Glenn get killed and kind of putting Abraham in there getting killed first, so you're like, oh, it's not Glenn that's getting killed, it's Abraham. And then what happened to Glenn and just how gruesome it was. But anyway, those first few seasons were great. The only problem I have with his character over the years was kind of when he lost it after Lori died after giving birth. He kind of, lost his mind for a little bit with the telephone, and I don't know. It was just, it's like they dragged it out just a little bit too long for me, kind of the way they did the Negan story. The Negan story in the comic book is so great, but handled poorly on the TV show. And I kind of got, it's another reason why I got, fed up with Rick because he was going back and forth between kill 'em all and, let's think about the after. And that's because of the influence of Carl, telling him, hey, what are we going to do after this? There has to be an after. And so let's have peace and start working on the after, building civilization, planning, doing all these things. And so that just dragged on and on. And losing Carl was a big blow, which is an even bigger blow now that Rick's leaving. Carl could have such a big part of the Whisperer War that's going to be coming up on the TV show. In the comic, he has a huge role with the Whisperer War, but now they've killed off his character, so I don't know what they're going to do with the Whisperer War now that Rick's gone and Carl's not there because of how important they are to the Whisperer War storyline. So Negan has a role in that. I won't go into details. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but it'll be interesting to see who steps up and leads now. I think most people have put their money on Daryl. Of course, Maggie is another character that'll be leaving due to contract dispute. So, who's going to be the face of The Walking Dead after? Is it going to be Daryl? If so, they're going to have to give him better storylines and more dialogue. Because really, they until this recent start of season 9, Daryl was almost taking a back seat. So, I'd love to see his character get more dialogue, more airtime. Negan as well. Is Negan going to be transformed, or is he going to be the old Negan? So, but to get back to Rick, the story has revolved around him. The story has evolved with him from, being the leader, the dictatorship, those early episodes when he kind of just took charge, to being more about a democracy now. Seeing that evolution of his character has been great. He has held together, whether you agree with, the way he's done it over the years, he's held together his core group, and the conflict now is how does his core group survive in a bigger setting in which you have to deal with people like the saviors whom you used to fight and try to kill. Now you've got to work side by side with them. How's that going to work? So, will Rick's vision carry on where, there's law and order, there's civilization, there's rules? We'll see. But I'm going to miss his character. Given the ups and downs with him through, the years, The Walking Dead has been Rick Grimes and then everybody else, and it'll be hard to watch that last episode knowing it's it, unless they do leave open the return. And then on a smaller scale too, when are we saying goodbye to Maggie this year? Is her last episode tomorrow night as well? I think her contract expires halfway through the season. So what's going to happen with her? Is she going to come back, at some point? But we'll see what happens with her. But for right now, the main thing, we're losing Rick. And like I said, you love him or hate him, the show has been built around his worldview and his decisions for the most part. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes from here. Yeah. I mean, even, part 2 of season 9 when it picks up, in February. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be, to me, almost like a new show. So, we'll see how it goes. But, for now, goodbye Rick Grimes. It's been a crazy journey watching The Walking Dead, as he's been the leader through the majority of it. So, interesting to see what happens. But this is a big blow for the TV show, and we'll see where it goes from there. Alright. Stay tuned tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, AMC, for the finale. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll talk to you soon. Farley and Rick Grimes, out.